Hello everybody, we're getting ready to do lesson 1.6 part 2 of pre-algebra math. Today the classwork, and you have no points on your go into your notebook. You will have 20 points that will go onto your classwork sheet. Have that out in front of you. Name, date, period here. Subtracting integers part 2. Here are your standards here. Evaluating expressions through modeling with functions. We'll get to that later. And then we'll go into page 1 here of part 2 of 1.6 with another example. Example 2, evaluating variable expressions. So evaluate the expression when x equals -9. So we have x minus and -40. So we need to plug in -9 here for x. So x minus and -40, when we do our plug-in here, we have -9 minus and -40. So we did our plug-in there. So what's the negative of a negative? It would be a positive. So we have -9 plus a 40. So how do we get 31? Well, we start at 40, and then we go in a negative direction 9 units, and then we end up at 31 is how we get. Okay, so we go into example 2 part B here, which is 7 minus x. And then when x equals -9, so we need to do a plug-in here, 7 minus x, and then when we plug in a -9 for x, we get 7 minus a -9. What is a negative of a negative? So negative of a negative would be +9. So 7 plus 9 would be 16, right? Because we start at 7, and then we do a negative of a negative would be a 9. So we continue to move right 9 more units, and then we get 16. Okay, let's try a guided practice here. When m equals -6, let's evaluate this expression here. Down here, students, this is yours. When m equals -6, go ahead and solve that. But for right now, for up here, we're going to evaluate -7 minus. So evaluate the expression when m equals -6. So a negative of a negative is a what? Positive. So -7 plus 6 would be -1, right? Because we start at -7, we move to the right 6 units, and we're still at -1. And let's try another one here. Example 3, evaluating change. We got a word problem. Go back to Kickham Jenny to answer the question on page 34 about the change in elevation of the volcano Kickham Jenny. You can subtract the elevation in 1962 from the elevation in 2002. Write a verbal model. So our change in elevation will be elevation 2002 minus elevation in 1962. So we have -182 minus a -235. Okay, so with Kickham Jenny, we have a -182 plus 235 as our two elevations of the year of the volcano. To subtract -235, add 235. So to subtract a -235, a negative of a negative is a positive. So -182 plus 235 is 53. So we add a -182 and positive 235. We get positive 53. So the difference is 53. So the summit elevation of Kickham Jenny increased by 53 meters from 1962 to 2002. So let's try something else in this kind of problem here. Find a change in temperature. We have from -2 degrees Celsius to 15 degrees Celsius. So find that change here. And then down here, students, this is yours down here, from -45 degrees Fahrenheit to -80 degrees Fahrenheit. Find your change here in temperature. Let's do our guided practice. So from -2 from -2 degrees Celsius to 15 degrees Celsius. So our change in temperature equals new temperature minus the old temperature. Okay, so our new temperature from -2 to +15. So +15 is our new temperature. We went from -2 to 15. So 15 degrees Celsius, and then we subtract our old temperature. So it'll be the negative, or rather minus a -2 degrees Celsius. So a negative of a negative would be a positive. So 15 degrees Celsius plus 2 degrees Celsius is 17 degrees Celsius. So the temperature increased by 17 degrees Celsius. And that is your lesson for today. Pre-Algebra Math, animated PowerPoint math video at AOL.com for questions or course materials. Thank you very much.